Konbanwan, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time's on your end. Hello, 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 everyone. It is currently May 30th, 6 p.m. Central Time. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys feeling today? Happy Tuesday. We are past the dreaded Monday. It is now the dreaded Tuesday. Hello, hello, hello. Wow. How are you guys feeling? Kisses for me. Mwah. And then the dreaded Wednesday. So true, so true. Bepper doing it. Yeah, so guys, I got some good news. So, as you know, last week I was really stressed out because Bep has been declining in health. And I was really worried about his blood test, like his results, to figure out if his heart murmur and if his heart was strong enough to handle anesthesia since he's an old boy. Luckily, he was able to go under today. And he was able to have a little procedure, and he started his first set of shots. He'll be getting shots to help him regain his mobility every 2 days. Each shot is like $20, and so it is an expensive endeavor, but anything for my boy. I will simply live off of rocks and ramen if it means that my dog will be okay. So, little man had a little procedure today, and he is fully vaccinated again, and he got his first set of shots. And that's good. I'm hoping it can help him regain some of his mobility again. And yeah, my little man is back home. He'll have his next set of shots on Thursday. And then our other dog, Beppis, we've been noticing he has a bad... over the summertime, he usually gets hot spots real bad. So I'm also going to be taking him to get that treated. Because last year, you know, my mom waited to see if it would improve. And it got to the point where it was just like big, open, gory wounds. So I was like, I'm gonna handle it. So we took him to get his hot spots treated. And we're noticing more hot spots. So we're gonna take him back to the vet either tomorrow or Thursday to get his hot spots treated. Yeah, the pups are not having a good time. The pups are not having a good time right now. You know, they get older, they have more health issues. Health issues show up, so we're gonna get them all sorted out to the best of our ability. Also, guys, I have some spicy news. So I think I mentioned before on stream that my mom has had some admirers. Well, there's this guy that used to live in the neighborhood that had to move away, and he moved back this week. And he's still interested in my mom, and she's still interested in him, and he's quite a bit younger than her, so she's like nervous about it. And I'm thinking, I don't know. I think my mom. I don't know. I think maybe she might date him. I don't know. My mom hasn't like dated in a really long time, so. Yeah. Is he about your age? He's a little older than me. He's a little older than me. So, are you prepared to call us dad? I will not call him dad. He's in his 30s. He's in his late 30s. He's in his late 30s. So he's a little older than me. It's not... Yeah. Not sir. I would not call him sir. I would call him by his first name. But yeah, he seems to really be into older women, and my mom is into him, so I'm thinking something might happen. Yeah, I'm thinking something might happen. Mayhaps. How am I supposed to woo Shiki Mama now? Yeah. So maybe Yeah, Shiki Mama can get it. Yeah, I mean, she's had a lot of men, like, interested in her, you know? But my mom is one of those people where she's, like... I think she's a bit picky, I guess? I guess she's a bit picky. And also she's like, if I date someone, then I have to, like... I can't be myself. But I think she's at the point where she's like, maybe I could find someone that could accept me when I'm just being myself. She's like, I need someone that'll accept me at my slob. He's a MILF hunter. No! Shut up. But yeah, I'm happy, and I'm hoping that things go well between them. I'm hoping that things can go well between them. They seem to get along really well. Happy he moved back because my mom really likes him and likes, like, spending time with him. So hopefully things work out. How's his Riz? I don't know. I've only, like, talked to him, like, one time. It was before he left the first time. He looks... Have they started talking? Yeah, I mean, they've talked about, like, you know, those kinds of things before. And she's expressed that she's, like, nervous about this kind of thing because she hasn't been with anyone in a long time. Hope you can gain a new father. Is he dapper? He's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking guy. He's, like... You know... What's, like, the standard for, like... Southern men? I don't know. I think he has blonde hair. He's very chipper. Very chipper. Yeah. Yeah. You know, t-shirts, cargo shorts, and stuff like that. Yeah. He's a nice dude, though. He's also... He's, like, really level-headed and grounded. And I think he's very smart. He's an Adonis. Yeah, basically. They just need to decide what to do with the way that they feel, basically. I think he specifically moved back to this area because he liked my mom. So I'm like, what now? Yeah, she's like, I'm nervous about the age gap. And I was like, he's in his 30s, like his late 30s. Like, it's okay. Yeah, as long as my mom is happy, that is all that matters. That is all that matters. Let's hope not dating the mom to get to the daughter. Not at all. He's only met me one time, and it was after he expressed interest in my mom. He is definitely not after me. I think he likes older women in general. If he asks what your job is, how would you respond? My mom has already told him. My mom has doxed me to so many people. You know, she's just like, look, this is my daughter's YouTube channel. This is her singing. I had to, like, tell her this year. I was like, you cannot keep doing that. You gotta stop. I know you're proud, but please, you could ruin this for me. Classic Shiki Mama, right? Classic Shiki Mama. Oh, I can see that happening. Nothing more dangerous than a proud parent, right? Also, Tom, I noticed the offline dono. Thank you so much for the Streamlabs dono. I give you a kiss. Mwah, thank you. Mom, my fans are weirdos. No, my fans would not. My fans are all so sweet. They're all so sweet. In fact, today, I was writing my 2nd year anniversary merch voice pack. And I, like, was, like, tearing up while I was writing it because I was just so happy to be. Because I love my audience so much. Joshua, thank you so much for the super. Shiki's mom has got it going on. I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Shiki's mom. Oh, you guys should literally... We should make that a cover, a parody. Shiki's mom We should do it. I think it'd be fun. I think she'd love that. Big yawn, big yawn. I've been so busy today. I've been so busy. I woke up and then I cleaned and then I got dinner and then we picked up Beppy and then I wrote my script and then I recorded. It's been a busy day. And then after this stream, I've got 2 meetings and then I've got to clean some more, do some more recording. It's a crazy week again. We should reenact the whole music video. So true! What if he was a fan of yours? I wonder... No, I should... Oh my god. I was gonna say, I don't think people in my area watch VTubers, but then I remembered that one time... This was crazy, guys. There's a boba shop that I frequent. And there's like a little board where people can attach drawings to it. And I remember... Not too long after I debuted, I went to the boba shop and looked at the board. And there was a little doodle of me on the board. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. So, I think VTubers do. I think that people here do watch VTubers at least a little bit. I was so scared. Yeah! There are other VTubers drawn too, like Pecora. And Mio from Hololive, yeah. Yeah, I was like, Yeah, nice but scary. I was like, oh my god. I'm not sweet. In fact, I'd use that docs info to triangulate your location and then sneak into your backyard at night to put a rainbow clown wig on Pepper. I'd love to see you try. The fight or flight instinct did its job. It really did. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Oh my god. I cannot speak here. Maoshi. So silly. I gotta change my voice. I gotta talk like this from now on. When I go anywhere, I just need to speak in a very low voice. It feels like I'm choking myself when I speak like this. No, now they know that voice. No! Oh yeah, guys, I cleaned my desk off completely, and so now it's all clean and nice, and I have my Minnow desk mat out. It's so cute. I'm hoping that once I clean up everything, maybe I can, like, the surrounding area, that I can take a picture and get management approve it to post so you guys can see. You can see the environment that I stream in. I've already posted a desk pic before, but it'd be nice to post another one. As soon as you laugh, we'll know it's you. No. You do that and your mom will say as loud as possible, Shiki, why are you talking like that? Slowly we'll know what Shiki's whole room looks like. So true. Man, it'd be over for me if someone had to like come into my house and do repairs somewhere and they walked into my room. There's like PRISM merch everywhere. My walls are painted orange. I have a Minnow desk mat. Oh, Sad Boy Requiem! Thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Oh my fucking god, I can't imagine Shiki Mama at a meet and greet yelling from the back, that's my daughter! No! Oh my goodness. That's sad. At this point, I figure your whole town knows who you are. Oh my god. Oh my god, I need to... You just reminded me, I need to call my dad and update him on my life. I haven't talked to him since last month. And you know, he's one of those people where he won't call. I have to call him. So I need to call him and check up on him and catch him up on everything going on. I don't think he even knows I went to Japan. I need to tell him about that. I think my dad told me that he almost had to work in Japan. He told me that, like, they offered, like, them to stay there for, like, 4 months while they worked. But my dad was like, I don't want to go. So he declined it. They'd like pay for his housing and stuff too, but he was like, no, I don't want to be away from my house. You should have called him from Japan and like, guess where I am? Oh my god. Looks good on a resume. I'd probably automatically go, oh, cool, are you a prison fan too? Did you paint your walls Shiki brand orange? Yes, I did. It is Shiki brand orange. I specifically, as soon as I debuted, I was like, I want to paint my walls. So I painted my walls orange after I debuted. So I was like, I need the good feelings. I need the good feelings. So I've had orange walls since like 2 or 3 months after my debut. Yeah. So they're Shiki brand orange. I even have like little light teal. I have a little light teal microwave and refrigerator in my room. So it's all me color. It's all me color. Oh, since I own my house, I can like paint little like sakura blossoms and stuff on my walls to be even more Shiki-esque. I'm a method actor. I must become the anime girl. Yeah. I can do anything to my walls. That's so epic. Oh my goodness. I doubt this would happen anytime soon, but permission to hug you at a meet and greet. I wonder how that would work if I was like virtually there. If I was ever able to go like physically, I'd love to hug people. I'd love to hug people. If I was ever physically able to do a meet and greet, that would be epic. But if it's behind a monitor, oh yeah, you could hug the camera, or you could hug like the monitor. You need hugs. I do. I can do anything to my walls. Sus. Hug the screen. Success varies with size. You hug me, I become boneless. Oh no, he's becoming a piece of chicken. Remember back in the day when Shiki was afraid of hugs and such? So true, so true. I'm getting better. Mew! Mew-san, arigatou gozaimasu! Ohayo gozaimasu! Thank you for the raid! Mew raid. Thank you, thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello! I hope you had a good stream. Let me drink some water before we get started. Yeah. Ryumeiro, ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu, Ryumeiro. Not Ryumeiro, Ryumeiro. I switched it around. Ryumeiro. Hello. Hello. Ohayo gozaimasu. It feels like morning. I'm trying to wake up still. Tyler, thank you so much for the super. Do you think you could give us a hug right now? Sure, I'll hug my microphone. Here. I put my microphone right up to my heart. Because that's where all of you guys are. What game is this? Iwaihime. It is a psychological horror visual novel written by Ryukishi07, the 07th expansion writer. Famous for Higurashi no Nakakoro ni and Umineko no Nakakoro ni. And Kikonya. Yeah. Boneless. Aww. You guys are so cute. I used to be bad at physical contact until I worked at Disneyland, and everyone was always so stressed out from having no money that we would hug all the time. Aww. Aww. big yawn. Whew. There is much to do this week. Much to do this week. I can handle it. I can handle it. Disney, bringing people together through desperation and hatred. Happiest place on earth where the employees are homeless and sleep in the... No! So we still remember what happened last chapter? That was crazy. The girls were fighting! Now we gotta start a new one. Have we really not played since January? Rokugami Hime, Rokugami Princess 1. The plants, flowers, and even animals were wasting away from the long drought. Here we go. Hi, Claro! Let me make myself a little smaller. Here we go. The plants, flowers, and even animals were wasting away from the long drought. The villagers had reached the last of their limited provisions. The crop fields had lost their vibrancy, and they could expect little from the autumn harvest at this rate. If they had only been lush, then the villagers could have had hope. They wanted rain, but more than anything, they wanted food to last them through the day. Pride! Pride! Thank you so much for this. I love you, Butchishing. I love you too, Pride! Oh my god! I was just thinking about you the other day. Oh my god, I hope you are well, Pride. Thank you so much. I love you too. I keep forgetting about my sound alerts. I love you too, Pride. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Teehee. Thank you for coming by. I'm starting to think you will never disable them. Hey, they're fun. They are fun indeed. The villagers, starved and dehydrated, groveled. All they could do was wait for a blessing from the heavens. That said, they couldn't just sit back and starve to death either. A group of young men with energy to spare fought back their hunger as they prowled the hills and mountains for game and edible plants. A wounded deer ran through the dead trees covering the mountainside. Whoa. It was the first prey they trapped in a while. But just when they were about to kill it, it went berserk and tore out of the trap. Even Mutsu, the fastest and strongest youth in the village, had a hard time catching a wild deer on the run despite its injuries. But after leaping over a thin mountain stream, the deer ran out of breath and crouched to the ground. Is this past life stuff? The young men readied their spears and tried to cross the stream, but Mutsu shook his head, stopping them.
ダメだよ。沢の向こうは六神様のお山だ。
そら分かってるけど、お山の神様だって少しは目をつむってくださるじゃろう。
お山は禁足地だよ。人間は踏み入ってはいけない。それがこの地に住むことを許されたご先祖様と六神
様のたたりはごめんじゃ。
The deer appeared to know the same thing. It calmly crouched there and stared back at its impotent pursuers. The mountain of Lord Rokugami must never be tread upon. That was the sole taboo imposed on the villagers. It was said that Rokugami, the deer god's retainers, the golden deer, lived there on the mountain. The mere act of seeing one would extend your lifespan, and the creatures were worshipped. But the mountain was holy ground, bringing earthly corruption onto it would result in wrath most ferocious.
仕方ないよ。お山は犯さない。他を探そう。
I think we talked about his voice actor before. Hold on. I will get it for you. His voice actor, Makoto Furukawa. Furukawa. Ah! He's Shirogane? And in Kaguya-sama? Ah! He puts on a little silly voice when he's the president. Yeah. Who else is he? He's Achilles in Fate Apocrypha. Huh. Let's see. He's Saitama on One Punch Man? Yeah, he's Saitama on One Punch Man. Wow, he's a lot of leads. Wow. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. What else has he been in? Yeah. Yeah. He's in a lot.
手ぶらじゃ帰れんぞ。みんなで散って何か食べられるものを探そう。
Now I just hear the president.
もうあらかた食えるもんは取り尽くしたぞ。
それでも何か見つけるしかないんじゃ。
頑張ろう。
The young men weakly nodded and split up. If they didn't eat, they'd die. If they didn't want to die, they'd have to find food. From a modern perspective, this was an era where death was a constant companion. But that was just the way things were back then. Those who were born in those times never questioned them. Hunger and the ever-present threat of death were only natural. A certain robust young man had lived in this era. His name was Mutsu. There were various theories regarding when the faith centered around the god known as Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto began. If the oldest writings were to be believed, it already existed at some point between the 8th and 12th centuries. In other words, over 1,000 years ago. It's likely that the mountain was designated a non-hunting area so as to prevent people from hunting game such as deer to the point of extinction. Eventually, it became a holy ground, and was revered as a sacred mountain where the deer god Rokugami lived. And that god became known as Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto, the deity enshrined in Iwaihime Shrine. Oh, we're back here! I'm gonna make myself just a little bit smaller. Yeah, there we go. That should be good. That's good. I don't want to block the text too much.
この神社の裏手にある山がそうなのでしょうか。
その山は黒神家が所有してはいるけれど、特に六神彦の命のおわした聖なる山はどこのことだったのか。郷土史の研究家たちが頑張ったみたいだけど、未だによくわかってないの。
なら、この神社は何をご神体にしているんでしょう。
もちろん一般公開はされてないから、ほとんどの参拝客は知らない。でも、研究の結果、ご神体の正体は分かってるの。後で教えるけれど、とても意外なものよ。
It was the Sunday after the Iwaimoto Shopping District's Happy Fun Carnival. Miss Hinagata had told me that she wanted to talk about something, and so we met at Iwaimoto Shrine. Last week I did something rather shameful. We'd had a sleepover in order to prepare for an early morning. However, I must have caught a cold as the next day I broke out into a fever that forced me to leave the others and go home early. Perhaps it was a punishment for my frivolous behavior. Kiko had confessed to me the day before that. At first I thought going out with her would make for a good learning experience. But I was still in the middle of my training. Until I became a full-fledged man, it was too early for love. I told Kiko that the day of the sleepover. I'd given her the okay at first, and I appreciated her feelings, but I wanted us to go back to the way we were before. Kiko was miffed, to say the least. But eventually, she forgave me with a smile. I believe I made the right decision. As for why, I'd had a horrible dream that night that began with us confessing to everyone that we'd started dating. I'd been having bad dreams since the night before. It may even have been the same nightmare over and over again. I ended up hurting Kiko a little. I would have to reflect on that and continue training hard. And that brings us to today.
ご神体はね、本殿にあるのよ。本殿はさらに向こうね。もちろんそこは非公開。無理に暴けばたたりがあるそうだから、一般人は誰も入れないけれどね。
僕たちはそのご神体に向かってこの拝殿から拝むわけですね。
そういうこと。まあ神社はどこもそうなんだけどね。
Miss Hinagata called me over to the shrine to tell me something in private. But since it was all related to the shrine itself, I felt like I was on a field trip. At first, I thought she was going to explain why she invited me to join the LCSC. However,
先生は神社とか郷土史とかに詳しいんですね。
まあね、ちょっと縁があっていろいろと調べてたことがあるの。
縁って何ですか？
何から話せばいいんやら。鈴原くんに信じてもらえるように話せる自信が。
普通ではとても信じてもらえないような話。
普通の人にはとても。ね。だから最初は昔話から始めることにしたの。この町の子なら小学校の時に習うくらい誰でも知っているこの土地の昔話。
in the end, all they could do was look for edible plants. But Mutsu refused to be discouraged and went into a thicket to search. Unlike modern times, people ate whatever they could back then. They didn't have much of a choice when it came to food. So finding anything edible would be a boon beyond all reckoning.
見つかればの話だけれどね。
He decided to go a little further. Anything edible in the easily accessible places had already been taken by others. So the trick was to look in places harder to reach. Mutsu looked for edible plants while also searching for animal tracks. Animals were major targets. Finding a trail meant a chance to trap one.
もっとも向こうも飢えてるだろうからね。僕が逆に彼らの食事にされてしまわないように気をつけないと。
The bears and wolves were nowhere to be found. They must have left their usual territories to sate their hunger. Mutsu honed his senses, knowing he was outside his own usual territory as well. Just then, he heard rustling through the thicket. A rabbit? A raccoon dog? Or could it be a wolf? Mutsu crouched down, held his breath, and observed carefully. But in the end, what he saw defied his expectations. Oh yeah, I know where this is going.
落ち着いて。僕は野党じゃないよ。
She's so cute! She must have been scared by his hunting spear. Mutsu lowered it and attempted to convey he bore no ill will.
それは失礼をいたしました。
Mutsu couldn't take his eyes off her. What he'd found was a great beauty of an Azusa priestess. Azusa priestesses referred to wandering shrine priestesses in this era. As mediums who could channel gods and spirits, they were sanctified and respected. They were also evangelists, as well as peddlers who brought wisdom and rare goods from afar. And since they were all beautiful young women, it was said they were gladly welcomed by every village they visited.
このようなところで何を？道に迷われましたか？
どうかお助けを。連れが足を踏み外して。
Really wanted to say Evangelion! Shut up! Shut up! The Azusa priestess guided Mutsu to a steep slope at the edge of the thicket. At the bottom crouched an elderly priestess. It seemed she'd gotten lost amidst the animal trails and didn't notice the sudden slope until it was too late. Fortunately, a tree trunk had broken her fall, but she'd been in real danger if she took another tumble.
ババ様、人を呼んでまいりました。それは助かるよ。
足をくじいている。
はい。それにババ様はあまり目が。
僕が助けるよ。おばあさん、そこにじっとしてて。
Mutsu nimbly descended the slope. He He managed to reach the elderly woman with little difficulty.
大丈夫？足をやった。
どうにもね。
Shiki is an Azusa priestess noted. Are you calling me pretty?
腫れ上がってる。無理に立とうとしないで。担ぐから。
Mutsu carried the old woman on his back and carefully ascended the slope. She and her companion's luggage were by no means light. They weren't anything the robust Mutsu couldn't handle. I can't speak today. So he took his time making it back up. Eventually, he managed to bring the old woman to the top of the slope.
ババ様、足が大変。
村は遠くないよ。このまま運ぼう。
よろしいのですか？すみません。
困った時はお互い様さ。
私、鈴の目と申します。あなた様のお名前はお聞かせください。
ムツ、大した名前じゃないんだ。6人目に生まれたからムツらしいよ。
Sixth born!
ムツ様、感謝します。このご恩は忘れません。本当にありがとうございます。
Mutsu felt a red tinge spread across his cheeks when he saw her smile. His heart soared for the first time in his life. Little did they know this would spark a love that would span a millennium.
1000年遅い。
Sound akin to a snapping branch resounded from somewhere within the dolls encircling me. Another doll had broken, unable to endure the soot. No number of them would be enough. Even the final doll, my own body, would likely burst in the near future.
小賢しや人にたちよ。なれど1000年の長きを耐え、我はようやくもう次はない。お前で小賢しき術も終わりを迎えるのだ。
私の苦しみ抜いた1000年にもはや意味などないのか。
哀れな女よ。我とてお前にだけは同情せずにはいられぬぞ。
お前の同情などいらない。
1000年をめぐりようやく帰ってきた思い人であろうが、
この運命はお前のいたずらなのか。
これは1000年をよく耐え、人鬼たちの人柱としての運命を全うしたお前への我からのささやかなねぎらいである。
ざれごと
どうせもう終わる運命ではないか。1000年を経て帰ってきた愛しき男を抱きながら死にたいとは思わぬか。あの男に抱かれたいだろう。
鈴原先輩に
Whoa. Whoa.
抱かれたい。スズムの濃いドロドロのすす欲しい。
Whoa. Whoa.
いっぱい注ぎ込んで。
お前が抱かぬなら、あれを抱きたい者はいくらでもいるようだぞ。
うるさい。あんたがいらないならおいらがもらう。鈴原先輩に
They seem normal to me.
愛してもらって。
I'm gonna.
濃くってドロドロした。黒髪先輩がいらないなら 私たち3人で愛しちゃおうかな。そして先輩の悔しいすす
Oh my god!
スズムが干からびるまでいっぱいいっぱいめちゃくちゃに愛されたい。
我はすでに十分にすすを蓄えている。あれのすすは確かに欲しいが、お前がいらぬというならば、この者たちにくれてやってもよいのだがな。ケロ
I'm gonna blow my nose. Hold on. I'm gonna mute to blow my nose. This guy's soot game must be crazy. Allergies? I think it's just because, like, I was, like, away from home for a while. And so, like, now that I'm back, I think it's, like, the pet dander. I got a new air purifier. It should be here tomorrow. So I'm hoping that, like, I will stop being so snuffy, like, stuffed up and sniffly. Because if you guys notice, I've been, like, sneezing a lot. Like, I've even been sneezing a lot, like, off stream. So, yeah, I'm getting a new air purifier. I got like a mini one. And that's why I've been cleaning my room. I've been dusting and I'm vacuuming the floor because there's just like so much like pet hair and pet dander and stuff. I'm washing all my sheets and all of Pepper's blankets and my clothes this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I'm cleaning so much. I'm just doing like a deep clean because like ever since I've gotten home, I felt like ill. I felt like sinus infection ill, but I know it's not a sinus infection. So yeah. Yeah, joys of owning mini fur babies, that's right. But I got a neat little mini air purifier that's coming in the mail tomorrow. I got it on Amazon for like 50 bucks. So yeah, looking forward to it. My phone must have been ringing for a while. That sound slowly brought me back little by little.
もしもし。
遅えよ。今どこにいんだよ。待たせんじゃねえよ。とっとと来い。
すみません、翔様。ちょっと体の具合が。
んなこと聞いてねえよ。いいなずけ解消されてもいいのか。あ？
それは困ります。
Not her shitty boyfriend.
速攻来いよ。いつものカラオケ屋だからな。たく、恥をかかせんじゃねえよ。たくよ。
He angrily hung up. I needed to marry that man. What? What do you mean?
そのようなゲスに未だに海外しく尽くすとは。もはやお前には不要な言い名付けであろうに。
Perhaps the engagement was no longer necessary. After all, I suspected that it would end with me before another generation could even begin. But maybe, just maybe, I could keep holding on. So I still needed that man for that slim possibility. However, even if it didn't conclude with my generation, it could very well just end with the next. That was my duty. That was the sole reason why we were given life. Am I muted? I hate this. It was considered more likely they were a poor farming village, and that said, Shrine Priestess was in fact a traveling Azusa priestess.
ムツ様、なんとお礼を申し上げたらよいやら。あのままくれていたらと思うと。
Oh, they're cute side by side. I feel like we haven't seen them side by side in a while.
ミコ様の
Well,
役
I
に
guess
立てて
these are two different characters, but they are like
おばあさんの話
the previous lives of the characters. The old woman's leg was swollen to the point where she couldn't even stand. What's more, she developed a fever, either from her wound or exhaustion. Thus, she and Suzunome would stay in this village until she healed. Normally, visitors would be shunned in this time of famine. However, it was a different story with Asusa priestesses involved.
村長たちはミコ様たちに雨乞いをしてもらえないかと
Hi
期
Shinzo,
待してるよ
welcome, you're fine.
この辺りは左でどこもだいぶひどいようですね。
雨か。さもなくば食べ物を降らしてくれると助かるんだけどね。
声が届けば必ず神は答えてくださるでしょう。
Prayers of Azusa priestesses were a legitimate business. A village as poor as this couldn't possibly afford one. So it seemed the mayor and the others were hoping they could ask for help in exchange for letting the old woman stay until she recovered.
私はカバ様には到底及ばぬ、まだ修行中の身ですが、私でよければ。この鈴の目、ご恩返しにぜひお力添えをさせていただきたく存じます。
それはありがたいな。村のみんなも喜ぶよ。ぜひどうか雨を降らしてもらえるように神様にお願いを頼むよ。
私にできるのは口寄せです。ですので、それを頼むのは村の皆さんになりますが。
口寄せって？
私たちに伝わる神や霊と交信する秘術です。
She's so cute with the bells in her hair. Nowadays, people who'd inherited such talents were known as shamans. Long ago, there were many who wished to converse with the gods or their departed loved ones. Thus, these women were prized for their ability to allow such beings to possess them.
すごいね。そんな術が使えるなんて。
どうでしょう。老女を背負ってあの急斜面を登ることができるお力の方が私はすごいと思います。
そうかな。
私にできることなど口寄せだけ。ムツ様のように上手にベッタをひっくり返すことなどできませぬ。
ムツの番だよ。
よし、僕に任せて一発逆転しちゃうぞ。
What was that noise? It was like a whip sound effect. Mutsu had been playing a game with the village children. It was a local game popular with the youth known as betta. One took discs made of knitted rice straw the size of a child's palm, the betta in question, and threw them at the ground. It seemed it evolved from a game where you did the same but with old broken sandals. You won by flipping over your opponent's betta with the force of your throw. It was similar to the game Menko played in the 20th century Japan. Food was indeed short, and the adults were seized with fear at not knowing what would come next. The children were resilient no matter how dark the times. Even amidst famine, they played their hearts out.
よし。
A crunching sound followed. Now I want to hear the whip sound effect. Do I have it in here? Where is it? I want to hear it. Where's the whip? Where did my whip go? It was here. I know it was here. Where's my whip? I know I have it. Did I delete it? No way. No way. There it is. Why is it so fast? Hold on. I'm gonna slow it down. How do I do that? Properties. I want to slow down the whip noise. If I turn it all the way down, is it slow? Why is it not? It like won't start now. Hold on, properties. Maybe if I put it up to 50? Okay, let me try this again. Where's the whip? It was like slowed down. That's so silly. What game is this? It is in the title. Iwaihime. Beefy. The two bettas, the one thrown and the one lying on the ground, sprung up lightly. All bettas had a flip side. The side sticking up was known as the male, while the side facing the ground was known as the female. If you could reverse the positions of your opponent's betta, you won.
さっき出っ張った側だったのがへこんだ側になりましたね。
そうなれば取れたことになるんだ。
ムツは昔からベッタがすっげえうめえんだよ。
I want to get the whip sound effect right, though. I'm gonna speed it up. Again, hold on. I want to listen to what it sounds like this. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, hi. Oh, Ko! Ko, thank you so much for the raid! What? Hello, Ko, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, broskies. Hello. Oh my god. Ko went to rest because motion sickness. Oh no, I hope she feels better. I will message her later, probably to check up on her. Not like this, she's motion sick. I'm so sorry. Hello. So, to explain the whip sound effect, they're playing a game where I swear they had like a default like whip sound effect, and I remember that I had one in my stream settings because I did like a naughty or nice stream before, where if someone was naughty, I would whip them, and so I still had the sound effect, and I was listening to the whip sound effect that I had. Hopefully you can listen to the whip sound effect in the game. Hopefully they'll do it again. Tyler, thank you so much. I'm super glad you could all hear Shiki whipping herself. What the heck?
ほとんどビッチャしないもんな。
Vita referred to when you flipped your opponent's betta, but it landed in the same position it had been in before, resulting in no points.
力加減にコツがあるんだよ。
It's all in the
無駄に
wrist.
力を込めても意味ないんだ。むしろ少し軽めに打つくらいがちょうどいいんだ。
Oh my god, it's so funny. It's all in the flick of the wrist, baby. Mutsu's turn came again. Look closely, he said as he threw his betta skillfully. His opponent's betta flew up only slightly, yet it perfectly flipped over. Using too much strength would have left the result purely up to luck, like flipping a coin. However, not just anyone can imitate that throw. Thanks to that skill, Mutsu had been the best betta player in the village since he was a child.
ミコ様はやらんの？ミコ様もやろうよ、ベッタ。
私ですか？
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
できるよ。鈴の目様にだって簡単にできるさ。
まだ修行中の身、様などつけて呼ばれるほどではありませぬ。でも面白そうです。
僕のベッタを貸すよ。
Ooh.
ありがとうござ
I
い
wonder
ま
what
す。
hers will sound like.
わあ、これがベッタ。面白そうですね。
Suzunome's face lit up with keen curiosity, a smile befitting a maiden her age gracing her features. Though she was a priestess, she had apparently been just another village girl as a child. She had run around hills and fields, chased rabbits, and laid on the prairie while eating fruit from trees.
これで打てばいいのですね。
そう。どれでも好きなのを狙って打ちつけて。
力加減が肝心ですよね。これは難しい。
最初は何も考えずにやっていいと思うよ。ベッタに当てるのだって最初は慣れがいるしね。
では参ります。
With a crack, a betta sprung into the air. The children gasped in amazement. After all, Suzunome's throw had just flipped over her opponent's betta as though it were light as a feather.
いい感じにできました。これは取れたのですか？
うん、すごいや。見事だね。
巫女様すごいや。すごいすごい。
取れた
I
ら
felt
連
good,
続して
she
やれるんだ。
says.
だからまた鈴の目様が様はつけなくてもいいんだっけ？
はい、ムツ様。鈴の目とお呼びを。
そっちも様をやめてくれるなら僕もやめるよ。
はい。ではそのように。ムツ。
うん。だからもう一回鈴の目の番だよ。
わかりました。
No.
では再び参ります。
Not again, my queen. No, no. Please be gentle.
巫女様すっげえ。
すごいね。またひっくり返した。僕なんか最初の頃は当てるだけでも難しかったのにな。
また行きます。
No, please, I haven't recovered for the first time. No.
初心者ってものすごく運がいい時ってあるよね。うん。
またひっくり返りました。
No,
また行
please,
きます。
have mercy.
すっげえ。ベッタの天才だ。ムツって実はあんまりすごくないの？ムツ大人だしな。ひょっとしたら
素晴らしい。
ベッタってとっても面白いです。それにすごい簡単ですね。
I'm sorry, I'm so bad, queen. Oh my god, his face. Why does he look like that? Mutsu, the man hailed by the village children as a beta master, stood there pitifully as his pride was shattered to pieces.
鈴の目
Oh my god.
勝負を
No!
申し込め
I can't take anymore! Please! Sir! Ma'am! I'll be good! A thunderous crack split the air.
あ、今のビッチャですよね。ビッチャビッチャ。
力みすぎた。
では今度は私の番ですね。
No!
参ります。
Please! I'll be good! Another thunderous crack followed.
巫女様すげえ。天才だ。ムツも頑張れよ。オイラたちの大将だろ。
あー今ビッチャービッチャビッチャー。
ビッチャじゃないです。最初からメスでした。
ビッチャじゃないよ。巫女様が正しいよ。ムツ見苦しいぞ。
さあ、あと1枚ですね。
これをひっくり返せば子供たちの大将
Oh, and I usually have to pay extra for this many
で
hits.
すね。
Accursed winch.
このままベッタの名人に上り詰めるまでの苦労をすべて打ち砕く気か。
ムツ、一体いつからこの遊びがこの村だけのものと錯覚していた？
鈴の目貴様、この遊びやり込んでいるな。
She tricked him. She tricked him.
答える必要はない。
Ooh! Suzunome's betta let out a sharp crack as it struck the ground, and the final betta flew high into the sky. Would Mutsu's betta flip, or would it be a pizza?
完璧な力加減、完璧な跳躍、完璧な回転。ムツ、破れたり。
She played him like a fiddle.
この状況で勝利を確信するとは。
Like hatred, Sasuke.
どうやら鈴の目、貴様の村には伝わらなかったらしいな。ベッタ界に伝えられる究極の奥義を。
何？
Nani? All of a sudden, Mutsu caught his falling betta and threw it at Suzunome's.
これぞ超絶究極非奥義。 何がおかしい。
この地ではその技をそう呼ぶか。だが我が村では奥
Oh
義な
my
れど
god.
究極奥義にあらず。それを打ち負かす真の奥義が編み出されていたことを知れ。
Suzunome jumped high, higher than the betta sent flying up by Mutsu's stardust shot.
新進王究極絶対奥義ムツ貴様の腐敗神話への引導ここでくれてやるわ。くらえクライマックスハレーストライク。
The betta howled as it sliced through the sound barrier, and with a wham it smashed into the ground with great force, shooting clouds of dust into the air. Who was the winner? Was it Mutsu or Suzunome? The two of them landed one after another. And a few seconds later, their bettas landed on the ground for good. Only now would the result be revealed.
相打ちですか。
いや違うね。君だけビッチャだ。
いいえ、あなたもビッチャです。
違うね。鈴の目だけがビッチャだ。
違います。ムツだけがビッチャです。
違うね。鈴の目だけがビ
Oh
ッ
my
チャだよ。
god.
ビッチャビッチャ。
Embarrassing. I don't think my butt can handle that.
子供たちに判定してもらいましょう。勝ったのはどっちですか。
Pizza.
僕だよね。見てたでしょみんな。
Hold on, I gotta adjust my headphones and get all situated. Wah. The adult thing to do in this situation would be to call it a draw, but
鈴の目がビッチャだよ。
いいえ、ムツだけがビッチャです。
鈴の目がビッチャビッチャビッチャ。
違います、ムツです。ビッチャビッチャビッチャビッチャ。
a young man and woman were shouting pizza at each other back and forth in the village square. Villagers had gathered from a distance to see what was going on. Some were laughing while others grinned and awkwardly looked away.
いいえ、あなたがビッチャです。このビッチャビッチャ。
そっちがビッチャだよ。ビッチャのビッチャビッチャビッチャ。
若いっていいわね。ムツも年頃だし。
最近の若いもんは大胆じゃの。
Eventually, the two of them finally realized just how foolish they were acting. They suddenly blushed and became lost for words. Not knowing what to do, they faced the villagers surrounding them and bowed. And then they ran off as fast as they could. They wanted to find some hole to hide in and would go as far as they needed to find one. The pair started laughing and threw themselves onto the prairie. They looked up and watched as the sky slowly but surely changed from orange to violet. The two talked about themselves until the sun set. Suzunome hadn't always been destined to be an Azusa priestess. Apparently, she was born and raised as an ordinary village girl until she was discovered by a band of Azusa priestesses and began training with them. She'd been certain that she'd developed a fully composed personality, one completely devoted to serving those above. But as the days events had proven, the part of her that loved playing games still remained deep down.
ありがとう、ムツ。こんなに目いっぱいはしゃいだのは本当に久しぶりです。すごい楽しかった。
僕も楽しかったよ。僕の場合はまあいつもはしゃいでいるけれど。
私の村ではベッタではなくバッタと呼んでいたのですが、まさかバッタの神の生まれ変わりとまで言われた私と腕前の白昼する人に出会えるなんて。
Uncensored hand-holding? Ooh!
世の中って広いね。いろんな人がいるんだね。鈴の目が羨ましいよ。いろんな土地に旅に行って見聞を広げられるのが。
でもちょっぴり疲れます。最初の頃は いろいろと興味深くて面白かったですが、ババ様のような弱いになっても旅暮らしかと思うと、荷物は重いですし、旅路も険しいし、ババ様と二人きりの旅なら気も楽ですが、年の近い巫女がもっといると。
あずさ巫女は荷物持ちの人足とかいないの？
裕福な方々ですと、荷物持ちや用心棒の男手を連れ歩かれることもあるようです。
あずさ巫女にも裕福とか裕福じゃないとか。
Though known collectively as Asusa priestesses, there were in fact a wide variety of them. The most common type were groups hired by large villages to come visit them at fixed intervals. But there were also those who acted as missionaries, trying to spread the word of the gods to more backwater villages. There were also those who traveled with peddlers, as well as those who worked as women of easy virtue. Suzunome and her companion had once belonged to a large group, but being in such a large party created a lot of discord. Tired of that, Suzunome had left them along with Granny, the woman she considered her mentor, and begun a journey with her, which resulted in her meeting Mutsu. I see.
やはり老婆と若い女だけの旅では危ないですね。たまたまムツに助けてもらえたから良いようなものを。
そうだね。この辺りは熊や狼が出ることも多いし。
熊や狼ならまだしも、もし出会っていたのが野党だったらと思うと。
それは怖いね。
ムツみたいな人が一緒にいてくれたら荷物持ちも楽になるし、いざという時も頼れるでしょうに。
いいね。僕も鈴の目についていって
Aww.
旅がしたいな。
Of course, they both knew it was a pipe dream. In the Serra, villagers had to prepare food not just for themselves, but for the annual trial, too. A man in the prime of his life like Mutsu was valuable to his family. If he were gone, then it would fall upon his elderly parents to do the work in his place.
僕も旅がしたいな。
It's so sad.
私も
I used to
か
have
つては同じ夢を思い描いており、
いざやってみると楽しくない。
相手次第でしょうか。
My mom came to get Pepper's bowl.
気の合わない相手との旅は苦痛ですが、気の合う相手との旅だったならどれほど楽しいことなのでしょうね。
The two looked into each other's eyes. From that alone, they could tell what they were feeling and what they both wanted. However, it can never be. The old woman's leg wasn't healing quickly, so Suzunome would likely remain around for a while. But eventually, she'd have to return to the road. Mutsu couldn't join her. Fate dictated that he'd have to watch her leave.
旅に戻ったらもう二度と鈴の目とは会えないのか。
きっと必ずこの村にまた戻
ってもまた旅に出ちゃうんだよね。
それがあずさ巫女のお役目ですから。私たちを求める人々はあちこちにいます。その方。
そうだよね。
Mutsu knew he couldn't be selfish and say that he wanted her all to himself. When she saw his face dim slightly, Suzunome gave an encouraging smile.
だから旅に出ても何度出てもいつの日にかムツが私と一緒に旅に出られるようになる日までずっと。
Wait, I'm emotional.
鈴の目。
The sky was painted over in the colors of night by this point. Under it, the pair's silhouettes appeared to overlap. From that day onward, the two continued their tryst, making the most of their limited time. Journeys were harsh in the Serra. No matter how much she promised to see him again, they knew there was no guarantee of that. Then maybe I should just stay in this village. Suzunome entertained that notion many a time. But there were people counting on her. People who eagerly awaited the arrival of an Azusa priestess. And of course, there was no way she could just abandon the journey and leave her elderly companion to continue it alone. Mutsu wouldn't dare tell her he wanted her to abandon her noble mission and take her for his own either. So he put his faith in their reunion and vowed not to waste a single moment of their time together. Even when the moon shone bright around them, the pair did not separate.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
The old woman's leg wasn't getting any better. Perhaps the strain of the long journey had caught up with her. She'd broken out into a fever and was showing no signs of recovery. It pained Suzunome's heart to know that they had brought even more mouths to feed to a starving village. Picking up on that, the village elders asked her to pray for rain.
わかりました。お引き受けさせていただきます。
ありがたや。
ただ、私のできるのは雨乞いではなく口寄せです。この地を守る産砂神を私の体に下ろすことしかできません。
ということは、六神様を。
わしらは六神様と話せるちゅうのか。
つまり雨を降らせてもらえるかどうかは、僕たちが六神様の心に届くお願いができるかどうかということだね。
そうなります。でも皆様の敬う気持ちと本当に困っているという気持ちがあったなら必ず届くでしょう。
As long as you have fear in your hearts, I promise things will be okay. The villagers were abuzz with fear and anxiety. They were daunted by the prospect of having to speak to a being so awe-inspiring as their very own god. The mayor calmed them down. They had no other choice. Without rain, they couldn't count on the autumn harvest. But if they knew they just had to hold out until autumn, they could find hope again.
頼みますぞ、巫女様。
かしこまりました。
There was an abandoned temple near the village. Now you may be wondering why someone would build a temple in such a remote location. Well, some distinguished monks came from the capital and mentioned that it would be the perfect spot for a temple. That's all there was to it. But right before the temple was to be completed, part of it burned down under suspicious circumstances. It seemed it hadn't been very popular. The bad luck didn't end there. At some point, the virtuous monks collapsed from illness. As a result, they departed the land, leaving only an unused temple behind. Thus, in this village, that temple was the most fitting place for divine rituals. On the night of the ritual, the villagers gathered there out of curiosity. Before long, a god would appear and speak before them. It was awe-inspiring and yet something no one ever wished to have to resort to again. As the anxious villagers clamored around the main temple hall, Suzunome began the solemn ritual. She chanted the prayer aloud to summon Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto. Next, she took out a small bow known as an Azusa Yumi, a spirit bow, and grabbed the string. Using something akin to a small pole, she strung the bow until it was taut. Not like she was about to fire it, but rather like playing an instrument. The hall resounded with a shrill noise, the likes of which had never been heard before.
本当に六神様を呼び出せるんかの。
静かに。彼女の邪魔になるよ。
The whispers of the villagers died down one after another by that majestic sound. Before long, the air was filled with an austere presence befitting the advent of a god. Suzunome, who had been putting her all into stringing the bow, suddenly lowered her head and began shaking from head to toe. Her eyes widened as she convulsed and started groaning. The villagers, fearing she might be possessed by an evil spirit, could only watch with bated breath, and then she went limp. Quietly, she slowly rose to her feet, her demeanor completely different from before. When she turned around, her expression was no longer that of the sweet young woman everyone had been seen mere minutes prior. A long silence followed. No one dared speak, least of all blink or twitch. Eventually, she broke the silence.
我こそは六神彦の御事なるぞ。ひれ伏すがよいぞ、人の子らよ。
Her intensity was not that of Suzunome. There was no more doubt about it, but God now dwelled within her body.
おお、六神様。 我らはお山のふもとに住まいます村の民たちでございます。
The mayor humbled himself as he informed Okugami Hiko no Mikoto of the villagers' plight.
我は雨を滑る神にあらず、雨の恵みをもたらすことはかなわぬのだ。
ああ、それでは雨は一体いつになったら。
雨雲は遠い。必ず恵みの雨は降ろうが、まだ遠い。
秋の実りはどうでしょう。
幾ばくかの実りを迎えるであろう。それをよく蓄え、大切に食い伸ばしたなら。
There would be crops in the fall. Everyone looked at each other with relief at the speaking of hope. Now that they had hope for the future, their concerns turned to the present naturally.
しかし六神様、私たちはすでに日々の糧にも苦労しております。このままでは村人たちは次々に弱り、病に蝕まれていくことでしょう。秋まで待つことはとても難しいことです。どうかどうか我らに日々の糧をお与えください。
お前たちは我を敬い、我が山に属せの汚れを持ち込まぬよう、その労をねぎらうことは
何とぞお慈悲を。
次の満月の晩より7日間、我が眷属の鹿たちを村に使わす。その肉を村人たちに分け与えよ。さすれば秋の実りまでを食いつなぐことができるであろう。
And with those words, Suzunomi's body slowly went limp until she collapsed to the ground. Okugami Hiko no Mikoto had bowed its charity unto the villagers. And then came the night of the full moon. The god's envoy appeared before the waiting villagers. It was a creature of legend said to live on the Forbidden Mountain, the golden deer. The villagers were rendered speechless by its heavenly appearance. The buck's antlers were strong and firm like the branches of a great tree. Their solid gold glitter shone around the village like a scene straight out of a dream. Its eyes gleamed red like rubies, and though it was a deer, one couldn't help but kneel before its divine presence. Its fur was also golden, sparkling brilliantly with each movement of its body. It was the emissary of Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto, rumored to extend one's life by the mere sight of it. Every last villager prostrated themselves before it. Suzunome slowly walked forward and spoke to it. Before long, she turned around and conveyed its message to the villagers.
神の鹿はこう仰せられています。我が肉を剥ぎ、それを煙でいぶして蓄えよ。需要に富し我が肉は一口で飢えを癒すであろう。そして我が金色の角、我が金色の毛皮を剥ぎて金子に変えて蓄えよ。それにて食い伸ばし、秋の実りを待つがよかろう。
For the next 7 days, they were visited by a golden deer each night. Doing as they were told, the villagers smoked the meat and stored it. They presented the golden antlers and furs to nobles from the capital and managed to exchange them for vast sums of money. With those, the villagers were saved from famine and managed to keep their home alive. Yippee!
そんな昔話があったんですね。
だからこの土地の古いお年寄りは絶
Ah,
対に鹿の肉を食べないの。尊い神様の使いだからって言ってね。まあこの平成日本で鹿の肉なんてなかなか口にできるものじゃないけれどね。神社への通りの土産物屋さんに名物鹿まんじゅうとか鹿納豆とかいろいろ売っているけれど、食べ物に神聖な鹿の名を冠することに眉を潜めるお年寄りも少しはいるのよ。
飢
hi
饉
Aaron,
を
welcome.
鹿の神様に救ってもらったことをこうしてずっと感謝し続けてるんですね。
というのはすべて後世の人たちが都合よく再編集した作り話なの。
作り話？
そう。そもそも この神社は祝い元なんてめでたい名前なんかじゃなく、本当の名前は呪い元神社。
呪い元。
呪いって人を呪うの呪いですか？
そう。外から人が来ることのない時代にはみんな気にしなかったそうなんだけどね。江戸時代に街道が通ることになるとマイナスイメージを気にして名前を変えようということになってね。呪い元神社の名前は似た字で縁起のいい祝い元神社に改められたの。この頃に呪い元神社の由来についての物語も改編が行われたわ。その結果が先ほど話した昔話。
改変ってことは元の話とどこかが変えられているんですか？
What really happened?
変えられているというより、飢饉が起こり神の鹿がやってきて村を救ってくれた。この後の物語が綺麗にはしょられているの。
Oh, everything that happened after.
つまりさっきの昔話はあれで終わりではない。
そういうこと。
Okay. I'm both scared and excited.
できて村人たちは無事に飢饉を乗り越えた。ところでこの神社のご神体なんだけど、神様のおわす山でもなければ何だと思う？
想像もつかないです。
答えから言うと盆栽よ。
鈴の実。
盆栽？
平たく言えばお寺の釣り鐘のことよ。大昔この村にあったという灰寺に放置されたそれが祝い元神社のご神体なの。
どうしてそんなものが？
神社のパンフレットには神に感謝して人々が奉納したなん普通に考えれば辻褄が合わないわよね。
This was a shrine for worshipping the deer god known as Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto. And there was a legend that said his deer saved the people from famine. But then why had the shrine been named after a curse? Why would its sacred shintai be a hanging bell from an abandoned temple? It didn't add up at all. Something was missing, just like Miss Hinagata was alluding to.
戦前の郷土史収集家が研究していたの。その人の資料を見つけるのは苦労したわ。神社の神主を代々務める黒神家は迫害と呼べるほどの圧力をかけて
この土地の縁起の悪い伝説を蒸し返されることを好まなかった。
おそらくね、黒神家にとっては自称研究家などという人間の好奇にさらされ。
何があったんですか？
人間の欲とそれに対する神、そしてその神の怒りすらも上回る。
The people were saved by the meat from the sacred deer. The capital's nobles were enamored with the golden antlers and furs and paid handsomely for them. The people managed to live modestly off of that and survive the famine. However, things didn't end there. Oh my god, I'm so excited. A single bite from the deer meat cured their hunger. But man's desire knows no bounds. Once their desire for food was sated, their minds became occupied with their desire for wealth. The village elders were awed by the unimaginable riches they'd earned from trading the golden antlers and furs. What's more, the nobles had asked them, "Do you have any more?" If they brought more golden antlers and fur, they could sell them for a hefty price. The villagers had only lived modestly so far because they had no other choice. But faced with the prospects of earning a king's ransom, their greed drowned out their gratitude toward their god. No! Greed!
そんなのはダメだよ。お山を犯すなんて。
So that's what happened.
あの山にはまだまだ金の鹿がおるはずじゃ。
You should be happy you even got those deer.
100頭はいるに違いね
え。でもお山を犯せばタタリがあるって。
タタリなんぞ怖いもんか。
そもそも六神様なんて本当におるかもわからんぞ。
Greed, my favorite of the seven deadly sins. I was actually thinking of having a stream week themed around the 7 deadly sins where I play like a game or do an activity that has similar qualities to a specific sin. I thought that would be a cute or fun little idea for a week.
んだんだ。旅の巫女が口寄せしたら、たまたま金の鹿が村に迷い込んできただけかもしれん。
Time to condemn our souls to hell. It is in man's nature to look to the future over the past. Future prospects are far more important than offering thanks to that which has come and gone. Up until now, the villagers had feared and revered the mountain as Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto's sacred home. Yet they'd completely forgotten their dutiful thanks and were wearing their greed on their sleeves. Ooh, Marthe, I know what game you're talking about. A picture scroll from the 17th century obtained by the aforementioned researchers told the true story. It depicted the gruesome slaughter that had unfolded on that mountain, the hunting of the golden deer. Here's some irony. What word do you get when you combine the characters for gold and deer? The answer is massacre. Ooh!
兄上様、どうかお考え直しを。
そうですとも。人間たちのためにそこ
You're
まで
looking
をされる
respectfully?
必要はありますまい。
そうはいかぬ。我らは互いを敬い、距離を保ちつつも共生せねばならぬ。
なれど、日照りで辛いのは我らも同じ。
なぜに我らのみが人間に施さねばならぬかわかりませぬ。
人間たちはよく我らを敬い、それに対し見返りがなくば、神よの時代はすでに終わって久しい。しかし彼らの祖先は我らの血を侵さぬことを約束してくれたのだ。
しかし、その見返りに我らの身を捧げるなど。
さようです。兄上様がどうして人間どもに。
話し合って決めたことだ。我を筆頭に年長の者7人を人里に送る。それで彼らは秋の実りまで十分に食いつなぐことができるであろう。我の血肉は彼らのものだけにはならぬ。我らへの敬いを新たにし、
I don't know about all that.
我らの
I don't know about all
安
that.
寧にもつなぐのだ。
I think you had too much faith.
兄上様。
出産を間近にしている者もおろう。7人減ればその分多く食え。父の出もよく我ら亡き後。
No!
兄上様、
No!
誓って一族の繁栄をお約束いたします。
But they could not keep that promise. Over 7 days, 7 sacrifices were sent, believing they were fulfilling their duty. But they had no way of knowing their sacrifices would be in vain. They could never have imagined that they were stirring man's greed even further. Man! It happened on a night where the moon appeared red. As the desolate wind blew, the villagers carrying torches all passed over the stream to the forbidden mountain. That mere act sent the creatures living there into a frenzy. For all of them had wholeheartedly believed that the humans would never cross the stream. The mob roared as they roused the animals. The golden deer instantly understood the situation from the commotion and learned that their trust had been betrayed. Both Suzunome and Mutsu had been opposed to it, but their words had fallen on the deaf ears of those blinded by greed. Since the village was taken care of, Suzunome could do little to protest. And since Mutsu was a member of the village, he was unable to fight against their shared conviction. Back in those days, your village was your family and their fate was yours. Opposing them would mean getting both yourself and your family ostracized. Mutsu knew that. So even though he didn't want to, he had no choice but to partake in the mountain hunt. The creatures of the mountain scrambled in fear down the animal trails on the opposite slope. There they were caught in large nets. It was an ambush pincer attack designed to lure them into traps and round them up whole. Of course, what the villagers truly wanted were the golden deer. But in this time of famine, they didn't mind taking whatever they could catch. They planned to hunt the whole mountain dry. You guys suck! The agitated animals were caught by the herd in traps one after another. The dying screams of their slaughter resounded without any end in sight. The golden deer looked down on this horrifying scene.
なんということなのか。
Why was there a monkey? That was a monkey.
とどまれませぬ。
この地を捨てましょう。今ならまだ北の谷から逃げられます。
しかし北の谷は人の子らの地だ。
人の子が金を破った以上、我らがそれに従う道理はありますまい。
さようです。彼らが我らの地を侵すよう
なりませぬ。姉上様、彼らが金を破ったからといって我らは神代の時代より生きし誇り高き一族。
しかしこれでは何のために兄上様たちが命を捧げたのか。
人の子を信じた兄上様たちが。
あれは人の子にあらず
人鬼じゃ。我らは金を破らぬ。破りで沢を越えるは人鬼に脱するも同じ。我らの誇りが人鬼どもの邪悪によっても汚されぬことを。
いたぞ、金の鹿の群れじゃ。
囲め囲め、一匹も逃すでないぞ。
The villagers' greedy eyes gleamed through the darkness, looking exactly like those of demons. The herd of golden deer suddenly took off and scattered across the mountain. But their golden fur shone too brightly in the moonlight. They couldn't escape the various glares of the man-demons. I think I misword that word. Avaricious? I don't know. I don't know what word just went by. Hi, Sammy. Welcome. One deer collapsed in exhaustion. One fell and broke its legs, and one by one they were captured. The final members of the herd were cornered at the stream. If they crossed the stream, they could likely flee to safety. But that was the humans' land. They had gained that land in exchange for promising they wouldn't trespass upon any others. And so the golden deer kept their pride to the bitter end. They were all captured with their backs to the stream.
Shut up! Shut up, you stupid person! わしらが踏み入れるのをいいことに、お山でぬくぬくしておった報いじゃな。
What the fuck?
一網打尽じゃぞ。
I hate them. The deer's legs were bound, and the humans carried them upside down on long poles. It was a disgraceful end to the sacred deer who'd lived since the age of gods. That's so sad!
これだけいればわしらはみんな大金持ちじゃ。
メスの毛並みもなかなかではないか。毛皮に傷をつけぬように気をつけるのじゃぞ。
The deer were hung in succession over skinning tables set up in the village. Next, the villagers smashed them over the head and killed them. They were no kinder to the fawn. No! Even the newborns were slaughtered mercilessly! Why do they sound like monkeys? Families were forced to watch their own children murdered one after another as they waited for their own turn to come. It was said the deer shed bitter tears, but no extant records speculate on their feelings.
我らはどうなっても構いませぬ。せめて子供らにはどうかお慈悲を。
お慈悲を賜まれれば我が身はどうなろうと決してお恨み申しませぬ。どうかお慈悲。
They smashed their skulls with countless swings of their axes.
ケンケンよく吠える鹿じゃ。ほれ、次。
人鬼たちめ、この仕打ち。
こいつらの肉、あれだけのご利益があるんじゃ。
なめたら無病息災のご利益があるやもしれぬな。
Blades were thrust into their defenseless bellies. Blood gushed out of those gaping wounds. The villagers laughed away and licked it up, staining their lips foul crimson.
まずい。こんなものにご利益があ
I
ると
miss
は思えぬ。
pizza. Remember when things were cool? We were playing games.
殺せ。これ以上我が身を恥ずかしめることは許さぬ。
早く肉をいぶしてまた食らいつきたいもんじゃ。あのビーム。
The axe was raised and the moon was split.
姉上様、お先に。
The sound of a skull shattering resounded, followed by the hiss of blood gushing.
あと一匹じゃ。
わしらのすぐ近くにこんなお宝がどっさり眠っとったなんてな。
The final doe had been forced to see all that had transpired. The whole clan being captured, family young and old alike being slaughtered. Their fur skinned, their flesh carved. The ecstasy of the man-demons at these acts, their expression something not of this world. And last but not least, the axe coming down on her own head. Her life was coming to an end, and all the while she witnessed her adorable siblings being skinned. She wept bitterly and unleashed one final scream.
あれ、人間ども、人にどもめ。我こそは、我らこそは、この地のうぶすな神、六神彦の御事なり。この恨み、我らは永遠に忘れることはなし。必ずや天の罰を与えるであろう。我らの怒りに恐れおののくがいい。そして永遠に。
やかましい鹿じゃ。
Right after they shattered the final doe's skull, the villagers fell to the ground in shock. Something akin to black soot burst out of the wound on the doe's head like a geyser and shot straight up into the sky. The surroundings were filled with a stench the likes of which none had ever smelled before. Even after it had covered the sky and blotted out the moon, the smoke-like substance continued to gush forward. All the villagers fell to their knees and trembled at the belated realization of their own sinful natures. This was wrath, Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto's divine punishment. Eventually, something like black feathers began to rain down on the village. Was it snow? No. It was pitch black soot falling like large snowflakes. Once it started raining on them, the villagers panicked and fled into their own homes. They believed they'd be cursed if it touched them. The village square was devoid of people. What remained were the gruesome corpses of deer hung over bonfires. Their extracted entrails, pools of blood, skinned meat, and fur. The snow of soot piled on top of them all. It continued jetting out of the doe's head with the same ferocity as before. Everyone must have hoped it was all a bad dream. They timidly poked their heads out the next morning to find a sky so clear it made the night's events seem a fantasy. But no one was foolish enough to dismiss them as such. Not when the whole village was covered in a thick blanket of pitch-black soot. It wasn't just the houses, the square, the fields, all were the same. Everything in the village was coated in soot, as if it were a painting someone had spilled ink all over. Eventually, the winds blew it away, but the stains left by the soot's filth didn't fade.
これは一体。
何かとてつもなく恐ろしいことが起こっている気がします。
おーい、大変じゃ。見てくれ、金の毛皮が。
Villagers were screaming in the square. No matter how much they pounded the sooty pelts, they never regained their former luster. They hadn't been smeared black by the soot. In the course of a single night, the golden pelts had changed into ordinary sooty ones. To make things even stranger, the deer they left hanging over the fires had been reduced to nothing but bones.
はあ、なんということじゃ。金の鹿の毛皮も。
何もかもなくなっちまった。
な
じゃ。このすすは
みんな大変だ。タータを見てくれ。
Despite the long drought, a few crops had managed to grow. They'd been thriving strong just the day before, but now they'd lost all vitality as if the soot had sucked the life out of them. And there was no guarantee the same wouldn't happen to the villagers. Gradually, they began to feel ill in various ways. Their breath grew short and they developed headaches. Apparently, there were already those who had fevers or who couldn't even stay on their feet.
巫女様、これはどういうことなんじゃ。やはりこれは六神様の呪いじゃろうか。
巫女様、巫女様。
私はまだ修行中の身ですゆえ。ですが、ババ様なら、あるいは
この巣は人間の体も弱らせるみたいだ。特に
まさかババ様。
Her fears proved to be right on the mark. The old lady who had already been bedridden with fever was now at death's door. Her whole body was swelling and her gums were bleeding. And though she was still alive, she smelled like a rotten corpse.
ババ様、ババ様。
すずや、わしはもうダメじゃ。だが教えてくれんかね。何か恐ろしいことが。
ババ様、実は。
ババ様はなんと。
これは紛れもなく六神彦の命のたたりだと。
なんというこ
Well,
と
if it isn't the consequences of your actions.
わしらはどうなるんじゃ。死ぬんか。村は滅ぶんか。
ババ様がおっしゃるには、同じ呪いの伝承を西国で聞いたことがあるそうです。神の住まう禁足地を犯した者たちの村に呪いのすすが降り積もると、そのすすは大地を覆い土地を呪い、大きな災いを招いて村を滅ぼすのだそうです。
They couldn't abandon their village and live on. This wasn't a problem that could be solved simply by fleeing the cursed land. In this era, the death of a village meant the death of its inhabitants.
この村はどうなるんだ。どうすればいいんだ。
六神様の呪いじゃ。
みんな落ち着いて。取り乱してもいいことなんてないよ。
呪いじゃ。
The villagers were seized with fear and anxiety. Before long, they crowded around Suzunome.
巫女様、巫女様。
どうか秘術でこの村をお救いくださいませ。
そんな、私にはそんな秘術はとても。
博識なババ様ならきっと村を救う秘術。村のためにどうか。
It wasn't even noon, and yet the old woman's face had aged 10 years since that morning. Mutsu could see the mark of death on her. She didn't have long. She was already in bad shape to begin with, and the cursed soot had only accentuated that.
ババ様。
すずや。
お頼み申す。どうか村を救ってくだされ。
身から出たサビじゃ。神を恐れぬ愚か者どもめ。
She barely had the strength to cough. Perhaps she understood she had limited breath left to spare.
呪い封じの秘術があるには。
They're going to sacrifice Susanoo, aren't they?
本当ですか。
邪法じゃ。すすの呪いを制すには。
邪法とは。
すずや。
ババ様。まさか。
It was a dreadful tome containing the black arts. But no matter how dark the magic, it could sometimes be used for good. However, it was a spell that could not be used arbitrarily.
呪いのすすを。
Ah.
生贄の身に封じ続けるという呪われた邪法。
Oh! It would be put in him! It would be put in him.
村を すすの呪いから救うには
As they talk about Susumu's
永遠に
soot.
封じ続ける
So
他
they're
は
going.
ない
So his family is like cursed with the soot.
神の怒りの代償としてこの村の者たちは村が滅ばずともあんたらのその苦しみは少しは六神様を慰めるじゃろ
So his soot game is crazy.
覚悟の上です。
そして神を恐れぬ愚か者たちがどのような災いを被ったか獅子孫
伝えます、伝えます。
あんた
読めますとも。村で字が読めるのはわしだけです。
Hey, with soot.
すだきの秘術が記されておる。
The old woman tore out a page from the tome of black arts and gave it to the mayor. She then handed the tome to Suzunome and ordered her to burn it. Finally, she whispered into Suzunome's ear.
鈴やお前はに
喉を詰まらせたんだ。
Her face grew more purple. And then, as suddenly as a puppet with its strings cut, she went limp.
しっかり、しっかり。
Mutsu desperately hit her on the back, but it was too late. She had been trying to tell Suzunome something in secret, but had failed to finish. The mayor glanced at Suzunome weeping into her departed mentor's chest, then turned his attention to the spell page.
これが
Rip. The villagers were surrounding the hut, their faces painted with fear. Once Mutsu and the mayor exited, they crowded around and clung desperately to them. The mayor raised his hand with a grim expression and urged them to quiet down. Once he was sure he had gotten everyone's attention, he opened his mouth.
村を救う秘術を巫女様より賜ったぞ。
Those words stirred the villagers, but the mayor quickly silenced them.
村尾さん。
生贄を一人。
Another commotion amongst the villagers.
静まれ！生贄は誰でも良いわけではない。若者。
The village youth were the most productive workers and therefore their families' breadwinners. Even if they weren't, no family would willingly offer up one of their own.
この儀式は明日の朝には行わねばならぬのじゃ。そう急に。
生贄はどうなるんじゃ。
命を奪うわけではない。呪いのすすのすべてをその身に封じ込めるのじゃ。
The village could be saved in exchange for making the sacrifice carry the full weight of the cursed soot. But this ritual would not eradicate the soot. No, it would need to be sealed by a sacrifice for all eternity.
生贄にな。
神の呪いを一身に受けるのじゃ。ここにはすすを封じた生贄は長くは生きられず。
でも生贄が死んだら封じ込めた呪いのすす。
生贄が死ねば封じたすすは再び解き放たれ村を覆ってしまう。だから生贄は死ぬ前にこうなさねばならぬのじゃ。こうさすれば生まれ来る赤子に再び。そしてその赤子もやはりは死ぬ前にまたこうなし次なる赤子に受け継がせることで呪いの皆の者よ。
He's gonna be living those last few years of his life fucking.
この獅子孫孫まで。
The villagers burst into an uproar. Sacrificing someone by all means better than letting the village be destroyed. But who would it be? If it could have been anyone, one of the elderly without much longer to live would have likely stepped forward. But it had to be someone young, someone who could have a child. Of course, one of the sickly people couldn't bear the curse, it had to be someone healthy. The villagers all fell silent. No family could afford to offer up one of their young. Even if they could, no one would volunteer to bear such a vile curse. But they had to make a decision, and by the next morning, no less. As the mayor had said, they had to hold a ritual to seal the soot away by then. The necessary preparations for that were all written down on the spells page.
みんな村を覆ったすすをかき集めるのじゃ。各家の長たちはわしの家へ集まっておくれ。生贄を決めねばならん。
Get laid and die sounds like a win to me.
呪いの。
そう。それでこの土地の名前がすすだになったのよ。さっき鹿は神聖視されているから本当は神聖視じゃなかったの。鹿の肉を食べたらそれが長い年月の中で改ざんされていってすすだの地名からもすすが消え今日のすすだになった。呪い元神社の名も祝い元神社。過去を語り継ぐ伝承さえも。でもどんなに神の怒りは永遠。邪法によって封じた呪いのすすが。
まさかその呪いのすすが。
そういうこと。それを受け継ぐ末裔の一人が本家じゃないけれどね。いわば分家。本家に比べれば私の受けてる呪いなんて可愛い。
You're related? For some reason, I thought I knew exactly who she meant when she mentioned the main family. Noroi Moto Shrine eventually became Iwaihime Shrine, and the one who ran it were the Kurokamis.
じゃあ黒髪さんは。
そう。トイちゃんは1000年前の六神彦の元の呪いを現代に受け継ぐ
I'm
呪わ
understanding.
れし生
I
贄。
think.
トイちゃんが本家で私が分家。つまり私たちはものすごく遠縁の親戚にあたるというわけね。だから彼女が六神彦の命の呪いでどれだけ苦しんでいるか。
So I'm guessing that he has a child with the Miko. Booming music out of sync singing, microphone feedback, bursts of flashing lights. That large room in the karaoke club was full of odious enthusiasm. The 10 members of Shou Kamenuma's delinquent group were clamoring about. Platters of fried chicken, mountains of french fries, and cups of overflowing drinks were lined up all across the table. It was too much for even 10 people. Not to mention too extravagant for students who could have had very little in the ways of income.
翔さん、またジンジャーエール頼んでいいっすか？
あ、俺コーラにフランクフルト、あと漬物とか頼んじゃ。
なんだよ漬物っておめえらも何でも好きなもん頼め。もっとハゲチーノじゃんじゃん歌え。俺はよこのイカれた大騒ぎが大好きなんだよ。
うっす、翔さんごちになります。
Shou always had 10,000 yen bills in his wallet. From time to time, he'd use that vast amount of money to treat his followers to parties at the karaoke club. Tobias, thank you so much for the super! Oh whoa. Thank you. He would always bury the table in more food than he could eat and let his lackeys go to town. To him, sitting back on the farthest sofa and looking out on it, all with the presence of a boss, was the greatest ego trip there was. Crouching low at Shou's feet was none other than Toy. Man! No doubt she was going along with his sick tastes again. She licked his bare toes with her slender tongue.
つくづく翔さんの性癖って
俺たちは高校出たら即結婚だとよ。俺は信じたからよ。それまではフィアンセのミサオはちゃんと守るわけ。
あ、いや、いいなずけとかマジ羨ますよ。どうやったら今時いいなずけとか作れるわけっすか？
ああ、お前知らねえの？一目惚れだよ。
Toy on toe
こいつ
action.
の一目惚れ。なんかよ、ある日突然黒髪家から俺ん家に電話。娘が俺に一目惚れしたからお見合いしてくんねえかってよ。なあ、おめえの一目惚れなんだよな。
はい、翔様。
すげえ、そんなことってマジであるんすね。
まあ正直会うまでは割と浮かれてたんだわ。 何しろ黒髪家ってこの辺りじゃ結構知られた金持ちなんだろ。
うち親が不動産屋やってんすけど、黒髪家はマジパネす。この辺りで商売やるときは黒髪に挨拶がねえとシャレになんないって言ってましたもん。
だよな。そんな大物の金持ちのご令嬢が
Oh, I think so I think I'm getting it. She needed to find someone really fast so that she could give birth to the next one.
どうか亀沼翔殿とのご婚約を説。
My folks were at a total loss for words. Same went for me. It wouldn't be with these people asking me to marry their daughter.
実は娘は遺伝的な持病があり、長くは生きられません。姉の母も祖母も30を迎えるまでに亡くなりました。トエもおそらくはせいぜいあと。
When I heard that, my first thought was, give me a break, man. That's some shit out of a crappy TV show. Basically, their daughter wouldn't last long, so they wanted me to marry her before she kicked the bucket because she'd fallen for me at first sight. I got the picture. Sounds like an interesting story, yeah? But in reality, it felt like a total pain in the ass. The Kurokamis were way too formal for my taste. I love my freedom, and I'd be damned if I were tied down. That's the kind of guy I am. You all know that, yeah? So I told Toei's old man how it was. I don't get what your deal is, but it sounds like a real pain, so I'll pass. But I ain't dumb. I worded it way nicer than that. But even then, he wouldn't give up. He said if I got engaged to his daughter, there'd be bucket loads of money in it for me. I'm talking hundreds of millions of yen here. My folks and I couldn't believe it.
もちろん翔殿の大切な人生をお借りするのです。これくらいは当然と思っております。トエが亡くなるまでの間、一切の金銭的なご迷惑はおかけいたしません。
He brought out a big ass attache case stuffed with bills. My folks looked like they were about to pass out any sec. I couldn't even think straight. The power of money is some real shit. The girl I'd written off as some whack job suddenly looked like the prettiest girl in the world at that moment. She'd be a fine piece of ass so long as she kept her mouth shut. On top of that, I only had to put up with her for a few years till she bit it. All that money would be mine, and all I had to do was play along with this guy's bizarre engagement game. At that point, my mind was completely made up.
もしご承諾いただけるのでしたら、婚礼の件です。高校を卒業と同時に直ちに婚礼を挙げていただきたく存じます。そして生まれた最初の子を当家の養子にいただきたいのです。
It all clicked together at that point, so what the Kurokamis really wanted was a successor. Their daughter would die without having a kid if she kept sitting her ass around, and they couldn't let that happen. So they decided to capitalize on her love at first sight and came up with this messed up proposal.
で、俺は速攻 OK したってことよ。こいつは何が何でも後継ぎを産まなきゃならねえんだ。俺は使い切れねえ小遣いで遊びまくり。んで卒業したら、こいつの結婚ごっこに付き合ってよ。
Oh my god.
ガキができるまでやりまくりよ。何しろガキは向こうが引き取るってんだ。俺には何の後腐れもねえ。
すっげえ。
That's what I'm saying.
一目惚れ万々歳だぜ。イケてる面に生まれてきたことを親に感謝しねえといけねえな。なあ、トエ。お前、俺のことが好きで仕方ねえんだよな。
はい。初めて翔様をお見かけした時から、トエは翔様の虜です。
マジで？はは、イケメンはつれえわ。
Sho jeered as he hawked up some spit.
それ。一目惚れした翔様の唾だぞ。ありがたく舐められるよな。
Toei nodded, crouched before Sho spit and licked it off the floor with her tiny tongue.
おいしいよな。
はい、翔様の唾。
Lewd. Sho cackled and basked in self-satisfaction. His followers gulped at this perverted scene.
あ？曲を切らすんじゃねえよ。
すいません。おい、リモコン取れよ。
His followers hastily resumed the party. Sho clicked his tongue as he watched Toei continue to lick the floor.
てめえなんざ人間じゃねえ。犬だ。
We just need to be patient, everyone.
He kicked Toei with his heel. The Japanese doll she was always carrying fell to the floor at that moment. She frantically picked it up. Her father had made one other request to show that he couldn't comprehend for the life of him. He asked him for him to overlook the doll she always carried and not ask any questions about it.
その人形様には嫉妬しちまいそうになるぜ。
Whoa.
呪いのすすには霊的な加護を失わせる効果があるの。人は誰しも程度の差はあるけど霊的な防御力を持っている。それがなくなるというのは
霊に襲われやすくなるとか。
そういうことね。私はそれを霊による障害。
Oh, and so the doll
霊障と呼んでいるわ。
is like to prevent the hauntings. Spirits are akin to bacteria drifting in the air. They're invisible, inaudible, and ineffective against a sound body. But the body is unable to fight them off when it's tired or sick. You know how sometimes you might catch a cold that otherwise would have been no cause for concern? Hauntings are the same. They strike when you grow emotionally unstable or weak. When all that adds up, your spiritual defenses lower, making you easy fodder for spiritual meddling. Have you ever had daydreams where you were tired or spacing out? Some of those were the results of spirits messing around with you. For people of sound mind, though, that's all they are, daydreams. But when your spiritual defenses are low, they can turn into nightmares, inviting temptations from spirits. Ooh. You've heard stories every year about kids who can't get used to a new environment and jump right into trains, haven't you? Amongst them are unfortunate victims who are tempted by hauntings.
私もすすを封じ込めた生贄の末裔だから、この体には呪いのすすが含まれてる。もちろんトエちゃんに比べればわずかなものだけど、一般の人たちとは比べ物にならないほどの霊障を受けるの。霊障を特に受けやすい思春期にはとても苦労があったわ。
Hauntings appear most frequently in adolescence, the most emotionally volatile period of most people's lives. Even those with normal spiritual defenses are easily prone to haunting them. Many people with a fascination towards the occult in adolescence got their start from the sense of mystique they had for their own hauntings.
霊障というのはどんなものなんですか？
一言で言ってしまえば、何の予告もなく突然始まる悪夢のような白昼夢ね。我に返ればそれが白昼夢だったと気づけるのだけれど、たちの悪いことにほとんどの場合、いつから悪夢が始まっていたのか。
When I said that, she started quieting down. As for recent hauntings, right, take Susuda Station. It's not a big station, yet it's been known as a suicide hotspot, right? The spirits there must have called out to them. On that day, I was waiting for a train. Then all of a sudden, I heard an office worker talking on the phone or something nearby. I was bored and had nothing better to do, so I listened in. What I heard was disturbing. She was talking about how it was okay to just jump onto the tracks and reset everything if you fell to the end of your rope. But disturbing as it was, the more I listened, the more fascinating I found it. Then suddenly I realized that it was almost as though she were talking to me instead. Next, I saw a blue sky under the train platform. There was a lush field at the bottom of it. At that moment, I remember thinking how wonderful it would feel if I were to be sucked right into it.
その時、たまたま誰かに肩をぶつけられ、我に返ったの。我に返って初めて、直前までのそれらが霊障による白昼夢であると気づくのよ。
もし肩をぶつけられていなかったら。
考えるのも恐ろしいわね。実際過去には霊障に惑わされて赤信号の横断歩道に飛び出してスクーターに接触したこともあるわ。あれがもし大型トラックだったら死に引きずり込んでくるような霊障は、ほとんどの霊障は単に不気味だったりグロテスク、まあその不快なだけというのでも十分に答えるんだけれど。
Even if a sound person only had a nightmare once in a while, they would still wake to find themselves drained of both strength and spirit. So it wouldn't be hard to imagine how tiring it would be. I accidentally pressed enter.
とにかく思春期が一番辛いのよ。彼女たちが傍目にはぼんやりしているだけにしか見えなくても霊障に苦しむ。
先生の他にも生贄の末裔がいるんですね。まさか。
消失した古文書の写しによるとね、昔生贄に呪いの負担がかかりすぎて子を産む前に死んでしまいそうになったんですって。その時秘術によって生贄のすすを5つ子に分けたと伝えられる。
そのうちの1人の末裔が黒髪さんで、
残りの3人の末裔が誰か。
じゃあシャチホコブというのは
5人の末裔が同じ学校にいるなんて。これはある。私はシャチホコブを作り彼女たちを集めたの。少しでも霊障を和らげてあげることができないかって。
She must have realized some of the students she treated were suffering from hauntings. It really was quite the miracle.
じゃあキコちゃんも霊障を。
当時は貧血と白チュームに悩まされると言ってちょくちょく保健室を訪れていたわ。見延さんも布川さんも。わけのわからない白チュームで辛い。これは何かの病気なのかと言ってね。でも今は少なくとも3人については。
霊障は抑える方法があるんですか？
あるわ。一番効果的なのは
The LCSC perform. By contributing to society, you receive things from
良
others.
い行いや人々の尊敬や感謝を得ると人は幾ばくかの霊的防御力を得られるの。日頃の行いって言い方があるでしょ。良い行いをする人は運気に恵まれ、
It's all coming
悪い
together.
行いをする人は運気を失う。
つまり大昔の人は良い行いが霊的な力を宿すと
そういうこと。つまり霊障には社会奉仕活動が一番効果的というわけ。
For that, I understood why the LCSC existed. But wait, what did that mean for Natsu and me? Kiko and I were related, though distantly. Did that mean I had the curse soot in my body too?
それはないわ。呪いのすすは最初の子供に全て引き継がれるの。だからすすはらくんには呪いは引き継がれていないわ。
Why are they saying his soot?
もちろんゼロというわけではないだろうけれど、それでも微量の。
ではどうして僕と夏くんを。
私が霊障に苛まれていた時、すすはらくんと厚田くんの2人がやってそんな経験は初めてだったわ。そしておそらくあなたが修行しているという神。
The divine tribute style was a sacred thing dedicated to God. According to Miss Hinagata, that which was spiritually pure held the power to ease hauntings.
すすはらくんには霊障を和らげる力が。あなたたち2人のおかげでみんなは健やかに学校生活を送ることができるのよ。あなたたちが来てから体調はどうかとみんなに尋ねたわ。そしたら効果はてきめん。すすはらくんがやってきてから気持ちの悪い白チュームを見る数が減った。
それが。
信じてくれる？
疑いなんかしないです。僕は理由もわからず、それが。
信じてもらえてよかったわ。
One second. I'm checking something. Okay. I'm good.
先生がおかしなことを言い出した。 PTA で大騒ぎ。
話してくださってありがとうございます。
Shiki's pogging.
僕でお役に立てることがあるなら。
ありがとう、鈴原くん。
Aww.
あなたが来てからみんなの霊障はかなり収まってるけど、たまに発作的に大きな霊障にやられてしまう時もあると思うの。そんな時助けてあげてほしいの。あなたが近くにいてくれるだけで霊障は霞のように散ってしまうのだから。
お安いご用です。いつでも呼んでください。
You sounded amazing. Oh, thank you, Vivek. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You uploaded the karaoke's, didn't you? Thank you so much for filming. I appreciate it.
僕も
Many much. Thank you.
もっと
Thank you for
そうすることで
coming.
救ってあげられる人たちがいるんだから。
And thank you for coming to stream as well. Oh, I don't want to quit the game. No. I pressed the wrong button. I had to save them no matter what.
なら僕には黒髪さんも
Yes,
救
I
っ
did
てあげ
cook
ら
too
れる
big,
でしょ
had
う
to
か。
cut it in parts. Thank you so much.
だとトエちゃんは最も濃く呪いのすすを受け、きっとシャチホコ部で彼女の霊障も少しは和らいでる。
彼女はほとんどいつも心ここにあらずという感じです。あれは霊障なんですよね。
そうよ、昔はあれほどじゃなかったそうね。小学校の高学年になったくらいから。
How awful. So she spent nearly the entire day trapped in hauntings so bad she could barely hold a proper conversation? That was her day-to-day life?
先生、彼女がいつも抱いている今となっては何か大切な意味があるように思います。
あれは1000年前から現代に受け継がれた。人形は古来から人間の不幸の身代わりとされてきたわ。言うなれば不幸を吸い取ってくれるだから古い人形にはたくさんの不幸が染みついてる。人形供養というのはそういう人形に染みついた不幸。
つまり黒髪さんのあの人形は。
そう、学校の子たちには呪いの人形なんて言われて、実際は逆。彼女
It's
の
like I thought.
霊障を和らげるための。
It seemed it wasn't an ordinary Japanese doll. It was a special doll to ward off evil made solely for Toei Kurokami. Sadly, they only knew how to make dolls to ease the hauntings of the Kurokami family sacrifice. No one could make such a doll for Kiko and the others.
本来は一つの人形で7つ。トエちゃんの代になってから人形の消耗が早すぎるの。効きもかなり悪くなってる。
この人形供養殿に供養されている
They're all
人
her
形、
dolls.
まさか。
I took another look out at the countless dolls lining the hall. They were all the same size, wore the same presents, and their long black hair reminded me of Kurokami's. People said Iwaihime Shrine had become a doll memorial shrine, but in reality,
そう、この人形供養殿は本来は一般の人の人形を供養するためのものじゃないの。黒髪家の生贄たちを慰めてきた人形がここで供養されているのよ。
これが全部。
一般から受け付けた人形供養はお手にするから、ここに現存するものはすべて黒髪家の生贄を使った。
there were way too many of them to even begin counting. Most of them were brand new, they must have been the ones Kurokami had used. All of them were a testament to how long she'd suffered. Now that I thought about it, she'd been on my mind from the moment I first laid eyes on her. I knew it sounded arrogant, but it felt like it was my destiny to do something about this. I want to save her. I finally understood what my heart had been telling me ever since I first saw her.
先生が僕に何を話したかったのか、僕にできることがあれば何でも協力させてください。
Sorry if you hear my mom coughing. Once she realized the nightmares that had been plaguing her were in fact hauntings, Miss Hinagata had started researching them. In doing so, she traced their source back to the curse that Susuda had passed down for the last 1,000 years. What she wanted was simple: to save the descendants of the original sacrifice who were all still suffering from the cursed soot. To break the chains of the curse that had persisted for a millennium, and to save them. And through the LCSC, she had finally found a way to alleviate the hauntings. But that wasn't enough. It was at that point she met me.
ススハラ君さえ良ければ、ぜひ一度ススハラ君のお父さんと話をさせてほしいの。ススハラ流親善武術。それにどうして霊障を抑える力が宿る。そのメカニズムが解明できれば、生贄の末裔たちを救うことができるかもしれない。
黒髪さんを救う手がかりが見つ。
そうね。もし親善武術を学ぶことで、私ススハラ流に入門。親善武術を極める。霊障克服のみならず親善武術部創設へ。ススハラ君を部長に迎えちゃったりとかね。
The Susuhara Divine Tribute Style, traditional martial arts that have been passed down through my family for generations. I've been training it my whole life, yet I never knew much about it. Perhaps now is the time to finally learn, and maybe, just maybe, I discover a hint towards saving Kurokami.
今日はありがとう。長々と突拍子もない話に付き合ってくれて。
いいえ、今は自分が役に立てることが分かって、そしてできることなら黒髪さんも救ってあげたい。
その方法を私と一緒に探しましょう。
はい、社長古部には行ける限り参加しようと思います。僕がいればみんなの霊障が。
ええ、そして誰かがひどい霊障に倒れた時には呼ぶから。
もちろんです。いつでも呼んでください。
黒髪さんの様子もあまりに体調が悪そうだったら私に伝えてね。それから彼女の人形。
霊障を和らげる重要なものですね。
それでも霊障でぼんやりしてて、
その時は人形を拾って手渡してあげればいいんです、ね。
This is too nice right now. The next chapter is gonna be horrible.
私も注意して見てるけど、万が一にも。
もし
彼女以外の誰にも想像もできないくらいの恐ろしい霊障が一度に彼女に襲いかかるでしょうね。
Why? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Not this bitch again!
お前俺の言うことなら何でも聞くんだよな。
Oh my god. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? No.
あのさ、お前がいっつも抱いてる。
No.
つうかさ、焼けるんだよね。俺のこと一目惚れとか言いなつけとか言いな。
Oh god, okay, guys. I think I have to save here because I do have a meeting very, very soon. And I don't want to start like a big important part of the story when I have to go. So I think I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there for today. I don't want to start something like really, really important and then have to leave like right after it starts, you know. I've got my meeting. Cliffhanger! We got a cliffhanger! I promise I won't take months and months to come back to this next time. I promise I will not. You're just trying to avoid the bad thing? No, I'm not! I'm gonna go to the super chat screen. Yeah, I've got 2 meetings today. So here we go. Let me close out of the game. Yes. It is saving? Alright. Again, Tom, thank you so much for the offline Streamlabs dono. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Joshua, thank you so much for the super. Sadboy Requiem, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Tyler, thank you so much for the super. Pride, thank you so much for the super. Tyler, thank you so much for the super. And Tobias, thank you so much for the super. Let me find someone really quick for us to raid. And then we will be off for the day. Let's see. I just want to say I doomed all the occultries who wanted your sticker on the last day, bought the last stock and gave it to Shogun's son and passed on to Ike. No problem. Thank you so much. see. Who do we want to raid? Oh, how? Okay, we'll raid Ami. We'll raid Ami. Ami is playing Pocket Mirror right now. We'll raid Ami. Where's the V button? The V key. There we go. Alright. Thank you guys so much for coming out to more Iwaihime. This was a really good chapter so far. I'm really enjoying it, and we learned a lot today. Excellent chapter. I'm very excited to see what happens next. Also very scared. Alright guys, then I will see you all later. Thank you so much for coming out to today's stream. We have 2 streams tomorrow. If you are a member, we are streaming around 1 p.m. PT. Oh, Tyler, thank you so much for the Streamlabs dono! I wanted to ask if you could say the rejected voice line I made. It's fine. I'm fine if you can't. I just want to support you as much as I can. I hate this. I hate this so much. But I will say it. Because... Okay. Okay, I will do it. Okay, I'll do it. This is a voice line that Tyler came up with for his voice pack that got declined. For reference, it is a joke. It is a joke. I would never say this actually. Gosujin-sama? Of course I hate Pedro Pascal. How could I ever love a guy who sings Imagine, Gosujin-sama? It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. You're evil. It hurts. It hurts. I love Pedro Pascal. Goodbye. Wait, BSL! BSL, I just saw the Streamlabs dono. Thank you so much for the Akasupan Streamlabs dono. Thank you, thank you. This game is something and Shiki was off the market. Love is over. Thank you so much for the Akasupan Streamlabs dono. Biggest status loser. Thank you, thank you. And Tyler, thank you so much for the super. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.